Think back to your school days, back when you were in school, your high school days, college days. Always in school, there's something called group projects, right? There's always a group project for whatever reason. You learn to do things on your own, but then you also have to learn to work well with others. So they put you into these groups to do some kind of a project or whatever. And I liked when we had to do group projects because I'm a sociable guy. Now that I'm older, I don't like to go outside too much. Everything's always like too hot or too cold for me. Like it's 90 degrees, that's too hot. 75 degrees, that's too cold. I'm gonna stay inside. Right? But back then, as you all know, I told you I was very talkative. I got in trouble for talking a lot. I was like a class clown. So when it was group project time, I was like, yeah, man, I'm enjoying this because goof off and make people laugh and have fun, converse with people, meet people. So when the opportunity to do work with others came, instead of having to do it on my own, I would get really excited. Right? Also, I get excited for group projects because in high school, I was like I was a slacker in a sense, right? I don't know, high school was kind of easy for me, so I didn't like to study too much. And so when group projects came around, I was just like, you guys do the work, and I'm just gonna write my name on the bottom of the project, right? I was kind of one of those guys. And I like group projects because in the end, we still get the same grade. If we are gonna get an A, I'm still gonna get an A. So fine by me, do less work and do it. Yeah, I was that person, the leech of the group, riding off someone else's coattails. And as I got older, I realized I was a horrible person back then. When I was in seminary, and in seminary we had to do group projects too, I really worked hard on it. I didn't want to be the leech anymore. I shaped up. But what makes a good group project? What makes a good group project? And even as we get older, we have to work in groups sometimes at work, right? You're put in a team and you have to manage working together. What makes the team survive and do well? And when I think about what's important for the group to have, and I feel it's oneness. They all have to be united together for a specific goal. And they want to achieve that goal no matter what and work hard in achieving that goal. The group needs to come together, and in high school, it's like, what do we want to accomplish? We want to get an A. So you work hard to get that A. In your team project at work, you want to get the boss's approval, right? Recognition, and you work hard to get that. The group has to want. They are to be like-minded, have the same goal, and strive for that goal. And when you strive for the same goal, sometimes you speak up, and sometimes you let others do the talking. And you work on it. You find a balance. If the group is dysfunctional, then the outcome may not be good, and the ultimate goal may not be achieved. As a sports fan, even though I don't root for anyone left in the NBA Finals, right? Golden State Warriors, Cleveland Cavaliers, doesn't really matter to me right now. It's going to be fun to watch, I feel, right? But for either team to win, the entire team has to be on board with how to do it. They need to be on board with the game plan. They all need to be on board with their roles, right? And if one person is, you're going to write the bench the entire series, that guy needs to be like, okay, I'm writing the bench the entire series. They need to know when to shoot, when to pass, when to relinquish, when to be powerful. If one person looks out for their own stats, the team will suffer. But if everyone knows their roles, okay, I'm just going to pass to Steph Curry. I'll pass to LeBron James. Then it's going to work out. But if some 12th man on the bench nah, if I'm in the game with Steph Curry, I'm going to show him I'm better than him. I'm just jack up threes all the time. Most likely they're going to lose. They all have to be one. Okay, I'll do my role, even if it's less than what I want to do, for the sake of the greater good, to get that ring, to get my name on a trophy, what have you. That is why in sports, no matter how good you are, if you're not the superstar, and if you have a bad attitude against a team, coach, management role, you're going to get kicked off the team. In church, there's something similar. Obviously, at church, we're not going to kick anyone out of church. You're late to missions meeting 5 times, you're off the team. We don't do that at church. Although maybe you may have wished someone would leave the church, but we don't do that here. But we all need to be on the same page for what? A better ministry, a better church. I can't just be like, I want to do this, and the elders don't like it. Well, I'm still going to do it. Right? Or the elders like, I want to do this, and the people don't like it. Well, we're still going to do it. Like we all, from the top and bottom, all have to be on the same page to make this work. The different departments. We have different departments, right? Even in the education side, there's the toddler group, the elementary group, junior high and high school, and then we have the Korean young adults, and then our group. Even in the adult groups, there's like all the different, small groups, kyogus, right? The missions department, the women's group, the this and that. The different departments need to be humble with each other, work well with each other, support each other. One thing about church is that there's 3 busy seasons: Easter time, Christmas time, and summertime. Right? Come September, you're gonna know, we don't have much going on. And then comes November, like, okay, we're busy again. But out of those, even though Christmas and Easter are the big Christian holidays, you kind of know what's gonna happen in Christmas and Easter. Right? It's gonna be a nice worship. There's going to be a different type of worship. There's going to be like kids singing or what have you. But summertime is the busiest season. Every department has their own thing going on. Starting in our church in May until August, it's like outdoor worship, golf tournaments, ping pong tournaments, church cleanup. Right? We have VBS for toddlers and children, retreats for youth group and adults, retreats for the choir departments, missions. We have a lot of things happening. They're all time consuming. And none of these events happen in a day, and they cannot be planned in a day. What makes a good church then? All the department leaders come and talk about it and schedule it together. Hey, I'm going to do this on this day. Please avoid that day. I'll tell you this. Last year, the education department, we all planned our events ourselves. For some reason, we didn't tell each other. We knew, right, in our back of our minds, they probably have VBS, they have youth retreats, but I'm having my retreat here. We're going to go on missions on these dates. We didn't tell each other, and when we finally came together to discuss, some things overlapped. VBS overlapped with missions, so we got to change that then. A youth group and retreat and EM retreat kind of overlap. So okay, we got to. It didn't work. It all overlapped with each other. It's because we didn't talk. We didn't think about the other people too much. We didn't care to go and ask them, when are you planning to do VBS? I'm trying to do retreat on this day. Is it okay? We didn't do that. So when the education department came together, I had to clean it up. All right, first week will be missions, and then second week will be the EM retreat, and third week will be VBS, and the fourth week will be the youth retreat. It was a very busy time. This year, they came early. Oh, we're trying to do VBS. It came in like in May. VBS is going to be this week. Okay, no problem. I didn't plan anything yet. And it worked out. So why did it happen like that last year? Because we weren't one. We weren't one. We didn't think. We didn't care. We didn't bother to tell the other departments when we had things planned. We just planned out what we wanted, what was good for our departments, and thought, hey, it's going to work out. And when we came together, we realized there needs to be some changes. Even though we all knew each department had their own activities to do, and they happen every year, we didn't bother talking about it. And it just reminded me once again how we as a church, we can't just focus on our ministry. Let's make sure EM does well. that EM grows. We have to care about all the other ministries. The Korean side has to do well for the EM to grow. The EM has to do well so that we provide teachers to go to the youth department and the elementary department for those kids to grow up well. We all have to work together. The church has to be one. And in our passage for today, the Apostle Paul tells us as much. Be one. Be one. And if you have your Bibles, please turn with me to 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verses 11 through 13. 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 11 to 13. 2 Corinthians 13, 11, 13. This is what it says. Finally, brothers, goodbye. Aim for perfection. Listen to my appeal. Be of one mind. Live in peace. And the God of love and peace will be with you. Greet one another with a holy kiss. All the saints send their greetings. Amen. Paul is writing his final message to the church in Corinth. Preceding our verses for today, he says, and he talks about how he's on his way to visit them. He can't wait to see the members there again. He warns them to live a sinless life. And he says, when I get there, if you're a sinner and you've sinned and I find out your sin, I'm going to go and discipline you. I'm going to go and shape you up. The sins that they were doing was that they didn't really believe that the words that Paul spoke came through Jesus. They didn't really believe in Paul. They didn't acknowledge his leadership. They didn't acknowledge his apostleship. So he says, when I get there, I'll prove to you who I am. My power, shape up. He tells them, examine their faith. Test their faith. Examine themselves. And he tells them that he writes these things when he is absent so that when he comes, he will not have to be harsh towards them. It's like, I'm giving you these warnings. I'm telling you how to live. So when I get there and I see you living a good life, oh, good, right? At school or at work, when you get in trouble, you'll take a warning, right? Talk too much at school, that's a warning. Right? You don't want to be like, go to the principal's office. I don't know why we're so scared of the principal. Right? It's just a person, probably gonna. Right? You just want a warning. At work too, you mess up on a project, you mess up on some kind of account, don't let it happen again. Oh, okay, got by. But they say, oh, the vice president wants to see you. You're like, oh, crap. Right? You don't want to meet the boss. Paul's saying, I'm warning you, change these things about yourselves so when I get there, we're all good. When I get there, we can have fun and enjoy our time together. I don't want to go there and scold you. So that was the better part of the 2 Corinthians letter. And then we get into our passage for today, and Paul starts off with a very well-known farewell. Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. And then he says, aim for perfection. Aim for perfection. Are any of you perfect in anything? Probably not. Are any of you near perfect in anything? Or do you guys strive for perfection in something? Try to be 100% in something. Being perfect is a hard thing. It's hard. It's hard to be perfect in anything. You know, we're in baseball season and pitchers, they try to throw perfect games. Right? Which means you don't walk anyone, you don't hit a batter, you don't get a hit, you don't get any earned runs, it's zeros across the board, and you go all 9 innings and you shut the team out. It's so hard that only about 23 pitchers in history have done it. It's so hard that even if you have a no-hitter, someone gives up a hit in the 9th inning and you lose it. It's all blown. The perfectness is gone. That's how hard it is to be perfect in something. The only time I've ever got anything with the word perfect on it was elementary school attendance records. Right? Year-end award, perfect attendance. Why? Because I have Korean parents. No matter how sick you are as a Korean child, you have to go to school. We all know that. I have mucus coming out. I don't care. You're going to school. Right? And get perfect attendance. We've gotten 100% before on tests. How many of you ever got 100% in the entire class? And then stretch that out to the entire school year. And then stretch it out to your entire degree. Probably not. That's how hard it is to be perfect. These days, people try to be perfect in video games. Right? They want to get all the goodies, all the badges, all the trophies. They keep playing the games until they have it all. And there's news reports of people that have gotten like every trophy ever invented for the PlayStation. And you think, well, what a loser. But he did it. He's perfect in it. No matter how hard it is to be perfect, Paul says here, aim for perfection. Though it may be hard, aim for perfection. Strive for that. And he's not trying to be aim for perfection in what? Your job. Aim for perfection in school. No, what is he saying? Aim for perfection in this, right here, your Christian life. God is perfect. God is a perfect being. What are we? Children of God. We then must strive and aim to be like God. And if we say, I want to be like God, I want to be like Jesus. And we know I have to be like Jesus. Our Bible tells us, my pastor tells us, we need to be like Jesus. What is that saying? It's not saying go heal people and make cancer disappear, because we can't do that. Try to be a perfect person who loves people unconditionally, who's selfless, who's humble. That's what our aim is. It's hard, but we do it anyway because that is the life that we're called to. We strive for it anyway because that's what we're called to. Pitchers in baseball, same thing. Most likely, they don't go in the game thinking, I'm going to throw a perfect game. But I hope they desire to. It's hard, but I'm sure they want to. Basketball players, I'm going to shoot 20 times. I'm going to get all 20 of them in. It's hard, but I'm sure they want to. They strive for that perfection. We need to strive for perfection in our lives as well. It's funny how hard we try in every other aspect of life, right? We try hard at school, or we tried hard and then we became seniors and we stopped trying. We try hard at work to get the raise and the promotions. We try hard to be a good father. We try hard to be a good husband and a good wife. Do you try hard to be a good Christian? Do you think, what can I improve on to become a better Christian? And I think about what I can do to become a better dad. And it's always, when I'm tired, still play with the kid. Because there's a lot of stress in my mind these days. Still gotta make him have fun. What can I do to be a better husband? Okay, I'll cook or do the dishes, so relieve some of the pressure from my wife. What can I do to be a better pastor? Whenever you guys call me, I'm open to talking to you, make time available for you. You guys will probably all do the same thing. How do I become a better teacher, a better banker? How do I become a better student? I'll study harder. I'll make a timetable. Do you think, how do I become a better Christian? What can I do to better my Christian life? Do you strive to be a perfect person and a perfect Christian? No, we may never be perfect until we are renewed in the end. But until then, we can become better and better each day. We can try to be a better person than yesterday. I'm a better person than I was last week. Can you say that? Yeah, I was a better person today than I was yesterday. I was a better person today than I was last year. Strive for that perfection. Strive to become better. And then he asks them, or he tells them, be one mind. Be one in mind and live in peace. You know, if you are of one mind, if our church is of one mind, there is peace. There's naturally going to be peace. If you're of one mind, then there's no strife. There's no reason to fight. So there's going to be peace. Being of one mind doesn't mean you have to agree on everything on life. You don't have to agree on everything on life, just on the Christian things. We have people in here who root for different sports teams, who like different foods, who like different types of people, who like different types of movies, different types of music. It's fine. But as long as we agree on ministry, how to do it, how to make this church better, how to serve, how to sacrifice, how to love, how to be the best Christian we can be, as long as we agree on that, then this church will work, this ministry will work, and we'll see growth. Be of one mind. Doesn't mean I want you all to be robots who think the same, who act the same, who are the same, who has the same haircut. Have your individuality. But in here, are you striving to make this better here? Working hard to make it better here? Or do you not care? And if we are of one mind as a body here at church, there will be peace. There will be love, generosity. There will be joy. Strive for this then, to be like-minded and to have this peace. And if we do this, he says, if we are of one mind and if we are at peace with one another, then God's love and peace will be with all of you. So Paul says, for with one mind, and if you have peace with each other, God's peace and love will fall upon you. When you think back to the history of Israel, when they were at peace with one another, when they cared for each other, when the king was good, when the people all worshiped God, the Lord, when they all listened to the prophets, and the prophets weren't shady in their dealings, God was with them. God's love and peace was with them. Saul started off good, and then he did some weird things, and they started losing battles. David, greatest king of Israel. What happened when David was there? They still fought wars, but the kingdom was united. They all worshiped God. They rejoiced when the ark came into the temple or came into Jerusalem. Solomon prospered even more. Until when? Until Solomon turned to false idols. And then went downhill. And the person who came in after him, his children, got worse and worse as they fell into idolatry. Picked back up once with Hezekiah, and then went back down until they lost the kingdom. So when they were good, God was there. But when they sinned and they fought with each other and they were greedy and unjust towards each other, when they treated each other wrongly, right, caring only for their own gain, when they oppressed each other, when they bullied each other, God's wrath fell on the people. There was no peace. So like-mindedness and love, peace, all go hand in hand. I'll agree with each other, especially in the essential tenets of faith. That God loved the world, but we sinned, and our relationship with God was broken. So he sent his son, born of a woman, to teach us, bring us closer to God. And he did so with his death and resurrection. If we agree on this, there's no problem. Agree on this, there's no problem. But we still fight, don't we, at church? Where to have worship, what time to have worship, what to serve for lunch. And think about, does it really matter? That's what we fight about. Verse 12, greet each other with a holy kiss. Greet each other with a holy kiss. Back in junior high school, I was a very physical guy. Right? College, too. I loved giving and receiving hugs. Male or female, didn't matter to me. I really loved it. And thinking back on it though, I realized something. I would usually just give and receive hugs from school friends, not church friends. It was always weird to me. I lived in Cerritos. I grew up in Cerritos, and I came to church in Torrance. And in Cerritos, I could be hugging girls and guys and, like what's this? Arms around each other or whatever. Nobody cared. Come to church and he seems like you want to hug a girl or whatever to say hi. He's like, ooh, do you like her? Ooh, you're not supposed to touch them. And there's kind of this weird barrier at church, right? Like, we can sit next to each other, but if you like so much as give them more than a high five and you're shaking hands and it's longer than like 2 seconds, we're not having any of that here at church. And for me, at that young age too, I always thought, what are we teaching ourselves? Or why is this rule in place? And not to sound like perverted or anything, just like, why at church where we're supposed to love each other, do we make this kind of a segregation thing? Being a pastor now, being older, I try to hug people less. I give them hugs if they want hugs. For me, it's more like a legal issue now. I don't want any weirdness going on. But I remember, having a wife and a son, very physical at home, right? And then my wife and my son went to Korea like last year, and I got very lonely. I got this I needed someone needs to hug me. I need to feel some love. And I remember I came to church and I saw someone, I was like, hey, I don't think I can. As we get older, we kind of start missing that. But our church is a place where there should be physical touch. Once again, not in a weird way. But we're not used to it. We're not used to it. For some reason, we as a church are not used to touch in general. And I think our culture, our Korean culture plays into that a little bit too. The thing is, though, who are the types of people we have physical touch with? What are the types of people we have physical touch with? People we like, right? People we love. You give hugs to your parents or something, or your siblings, your best friends, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your wife, your husband. You flirt and you touch them. Touching is a sign of affection, right? It's not supposed to be a weird thing. And I'm not saying that we're starting next week, we're going to include like an institutional-wide ministry of holy kiss policy or anything like that. But I hope we're not weirded out by touch here. I hope we're not weirded out by that. Verse 13, all the saints send their greetings. The other believers are sending their love for the people. Paul is reminding the church in Corinth that the saints, the leaders, the other Christians around the vicinity are encouraging them. They're sending their love and their best wishes. It's a big boost of confidence when other churches acknowledge you and you know other people, other Christians are praying for you. Doesn't it make you just warm your heart when someone at church just randomly comes and says, I've been praying for this week? It just feels good, right? I was at home one day, and late at night, I just got a phone call from someone, and that person, I was like shocked because I haven't talked to that person in a while, and they're like, I dreamed about you yesterday. And I just felt like I should call you and pray for you. It's like, okay, wow. And, they just said, I still remember they said, your words created the world. Help Pastor Charles know that those same words that you spoke to create the mountains and the animals, you speak words of love to him, saying it's going to be okay that you're with him. And during that time, I was going through this really hard time in life, and it was just a big comfort to me. It's totally out of the blue. Someone I didn't expect called me and said that to me. And we know if someone says that, I've been praying for you, I've been thinking about you lately, how are you? We feel good. But think more of this time. The Christian population is a lot smaller than now. Right? Nowadays, we have churches to a block. Right? Down the street, you can find another church very similar to ours. Down the next street, find a church very different from ours. Right? We have a wide variety that we don't talk to each other anymore. I was driving the other day. There's a church right in the back area called Lighthouse. Didn't even know it was there. We don't talk to them. They don't talk to us. We don't call them and say, hey, we're down the street literally, and let's pray for each other. We're all just about ourselves. And it's okay in the sense that there's so many Christians, right, that you have to take care of your own. Back here, this was the only church in Corinth. And they knew, how many churches are in the world? I don't know, 5, like one in Ephesus and one in here and one in Jerusalem. Is that what? It's a smaller population. So when Paul says, you know what? Talk to Peter over in Jerusalem, says he's praying for you guys. You're like, oh, Peter's praying for me. Kind of random if like Billy Graham calls us and says, I just been praying. Grace to Church came to my mind. Let me tell you, I've been praying for you. Rick Warren calls us. Like, wow. A big Christian leader has been praying for us? Right? Like a small to medium-sized Korean church in Torrance? And so what they felt, hey, you know what? James and John, the other apostles, Barnabas, those leaders, they've been praying for you. Making sure that God is with you, encouraging you. And I want to tell you that so you could be encouraged. A big blessing, big boost of confidence for them. The Christian leaders are sending their love to you. It's a great feeling. It makes them feel good. And I think that's why Paul asked this in the end. You're not alone. It's not just you guys. The Christian population cares for you. So be like-minded and have peace. Be like-minded and have peace. Aim for perfection. I write emails to you, all of you, once a week. Some of you twice a week. But if you read my letters, my emails to each other every week ends with saying peace, right? I write peace. Always the same. I don't write love, Pastor Charles. Sincerely, Pastor Charles. I write peace, Pastor Charles. My go-to word. I want peace and comfort for you guys in your life. To have a carefree, stress-free life. I want you to have peace. To have peace with those around you. Not fight, not have quarrels, not have bad feelings and trouble. But have peace in all aspects of your life. If you don't have peace in one area of life, it affects all the other areas of life, right? If you're having like spousal problems at home, it affects everything else because it's on your mind. If you're having financial difficulties, it affects you, right? Oh, my friends want to go out. I don't know if I could go out. I'm having financial difficulties. It makes you think about things. If you're not doing well in school, I wanted to transfer, but and then you get stressed, so you lash out at home, or what have you. I want peace for all of you in all aspects of your life. Stress-free, care-free. So I write peace at the end of my letters. Peace. Paul, very similar. He starts his letter with the word peace. Shalom. Grace and peace to you is how he starts his letter. So in the second letter to the church of Corinth, he begins and ends with saying peace. Peace to you. Peace to you. Aim for perfection. Be the best you can in all areas of your life. I know you all try to be. Also try to be the best Christian that you can. Have you ever thought about, if I die and I'm known as the greatest in my field, whatever that field is, right? Greatest nurse, greatest doctor, greatest engineer. But you think back and I wasn't a great Christian. How do you think you'll feel? Would you be, okay, still going to heaven? When my mother-in-law passed away years ago, she sat me and my wife down and she told us, you don't have to be good in anything else. Serve God diligently. It's like, I regret not serving God more. That was her only regret when she was passing away from cancer. I wish I had more time to do more for God. What do you think you will say when you die? Will you be like, I regret not making vice president at my firm? And if that's what you think you'll regret, man, you really have some things to think about in life. Don't regret it. I should have done this for God. I should have gone on missions. I should have taught. Just do it. Be better. Be good. I should have helped this so-and-so out. I should have stood up to this person. Don't regret it. Do it. Do it. Be the best Christian you can be. Aim for perfection here as well. How do you do that? Don't just think about yourself. Think about others. Do they need something? Do they need a meal? Do they need a little more money? Do they need a hug? A prayer? Not just, let's save some more money. I don't want to give them food. I'm too tired. I don't want to pray for them by name. And I don't want to hug them. They're kind of icky. Be better. Strive for perfection here. Be one mind and live in peace with your fellow believers. Don't just try to excel at work and school, but try to excel at church. Our God of love and peace is with you and will always be with you. And if you have peace in your hearts and turn to God, our God will shower you with peace and love forever. So be of one mind. At church, when you plan things, when you volunteer and help out, don't look out for your own gain and just for your own agenda, but how you can support each other. What is the goal of this retreat that we're planning? How do you accomplish this goal? What is the goal of this missions that we're planning? How do you accomplish this? What is the goal of having these various kyogos, these various small groups, and how do you accomplish this? Not just, I'm in charge of the kyogu, so I'm going to do it this way. I'm in charge of missions, so I'm going to do it this way. Don't become dysfunctional, but build the group up. Greet each other with a holy kiss. Love each other. Be comfortable with each other. Show your love with touch, not awkward, weird touch, but comfortable and lovingly. Think about the Trinity, 3 in 1. God the Father, Christ the Son, the Holy Spirit. They are in perfect unison with each other, never quarreling. They function extremely well. That's the perfect group that we can model ourselves after. They're obedient to each other, love each other, humble before each other, and it all works out. God says, Jesus, go die for them. He didn't say, I don't want to. There must be another way. He was obedient and he died on the cross and rose again. Holy Spirit, don't go down yet. Go down at Pentecost. I want to go right now. No. Perfect union with each other. The church can learn from this example of the Trinity, their union and their love for each other. The church should carry on that spirit. So be one, like-minded, be in peace, work hard for this community, not tearing anyone down, but always lifting each other up. Let us be one and in peace, and hope that God's love and peace will fall upon each and every one of us in this church. Let's pray together.